Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Computer America Show. It's a little pre-show screening here. Ben and I are here with a terrific program, as always, for you, the listeners of Computer America. In the second hour, we're going to be doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Also have some iPhone releases. They just updated the OS again. Once again, the iOS has been updated to 9.1. We'll talk about some of the new features there. And in the first hour, we're going to be joined by GoDaddy. That's right, GoDaddy, the world's largest domain name registrar. We have Antonio Silveira is here with us. He is the Vice President of Software Engineering, and we're going to be talking what's going on over at GoDaddy and how that's of interest to you. So sit back.
1 minute until showtime.
So sit back, relax, enjoy 2 hours of Computer America.
Yeah, we're really happy that Antonio could join us because, just talking to him behind the scenes, it seems like he has meetings within meetings within meetings that he has to put on hold for us. So really, really thankful that he was able to join us today.
Absolutely.
Marketplace. And if we as libertarians start to speak up, you know what that means.
Ten seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into another edition of the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we got a great show planned for you today. In the second hour, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in addition to that, yes, iPhone's at it again. From 9.0.2, they just had a 9.1 release yesterday. A whole bunch of new features they're adding to the operating system, the iOS operating system, and we'll talk a little bit about what's new, what they've added to the 9.1 iOS for your iPhone. Okay, so we'll talk about that. And in the first hour, we're going to be joined by GoDaddy. GoDaddy, right, exactly. You know GoDaddy. They are, I guess, the world's largest domain name registrar. Antonio Silveira, the Vice President of Software Engineering, is here with us. We'll be talking to him about what's going on at GoDaddy. I'm sure you'll all find that of interest. If you have a comment or a question for our guest or anything, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call at 347-884-8881. 347-884-8881 will get you on and get you through. If you don't want to go in the area, you're radio shy, no problem. We have a solution for you. Just go to any page at ComputerAmerica.com, any page there, and you'll see in the upper right-hand corner of any page there, it'll say submit a question. Just click on it. It's just that simple. You'll go to our question submission page. You can type in a question, click the submit button, and Ben and I will see it immediately. And we can pass along your question or comment to our guest. The other nice thing is that, yes, we're a radio talk show, but you can also watch us. We make live video streaming available, again, at the internet home of Computer America at ComputerAmerica.com. Just click on any page that says Show Lounge. You'll see it. Just click Show Lounge, and immediately the live video stream will begin. You don't have to do anything, and you can just watch the show and listen to the show at the same time, all at ComputerAmerica.com. Of course, we make audios available other places too. It's at the Blog Talk Radio Network, at the IRN Radio Network, at the TuneIn Radio Network. All these places carry it. And of course, archives are carried in addition to there at Apple's iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, under the archives pull-down menu at any page at computeramerica.com. Everything you need to know about our show is right there at the internet home of Computer America. Okay. So, Ben, anything you want to mention before we get started?
No. Nothing of relevance for our first hour guest, so I think we should just jump right into it.
Yeah. By the way, I neglected to mention that when you watch the show, Ben has the technology to display websites, movies, videos in the background, so you can actually watch what we're talking about as well. So you get that additional bonus if you're watching Computer America Live. Again, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so let's get to it. As I said, now nearly as old as the internet itself, GoDaddy was born to give people an easy, affordable way to get their ideas online. Now today, GoDaddy has more than 13 million customers around the world, but GoDaddy's goal is much the same. They're here to help people easily start, confidently grow, and successfully run their own internet ventures. Basically, GoDaddy is the world's largest domain name registrar. Now, joining us is Antonio Silveira. He is GoDaddy's Vice President of Software Engineering. Hey, Antonio, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Thanks, Craig. Good to be here.
And we're glad to have you. So, I keep saying that that GoDaddy is the world's largest domain name registrar. I assume you would agree with us. What is a domain name registrar for our listeners who might not be familiar with what that means? Why don't you give us a little background of what GoDaddy does?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. So, what enables you, for instance, to have your own domain like computeramerica.com, right? So you need to actually buy that domain, find a domain that is available and buy that. So GoDaddy helps you connect and find those unique names, and that's a registrar, right? So we basically help anyone, especially small businesses, to find the perfect name that makes sense for their business or for their venture or for their personal page. It's a very important statement as a brand for you personally. You look more professional, and also for your company. And the way we do it is we have a lot of technology that helps find the best name for your business. And it can be a .com, it can be a .net, it can be all the new domains that we have now. We have a series of new domains that we call the generic top-level domains, like .club, .ninja, .guru, .la, .New York City. So we have a lot of options now in the market for you to find the perfect name for your online identity. So GoDaddy is the largest provider. We have the largest market share in terms of managing domains in the world.
Now, you mentioned these suffixes, not only .com and .org and .net, which were the old ones, but can it be virtually anything? Can it be .anything? I mean, or there's still limitations to what they can be? We have now a lot more options, right? So those are what we call, GTLDs, the generic top-level domains. And we're having more and more. I would say every week or every few weeks, we have more of those domains available. And yeah, if you go to GoDaddy.com, you will be able to see that you have way more than .com. Of course, we're used to .com, .net. But yeah, now there's a lot of more options in terms of brand for you to find, the perfect available name, like, Craig.club or Craig.ninja or Craig.guru, right? So probably those are not available anymore because they're 4 letters. But yeah, there's a lot more options for you to make sense out of, it's so hard to find a good name with .com. And now we have a lot more offer for the market. Now, you said that the 4-letter ones are not available anymore. What happened? I thought .guru was.
No. I really don't know, right? So, but when you have a demand, as big as domain names are have real value, right? So a good domain name with 4 letters on .com, it's probably worth a few $1 million.
Wow.
And but this is the opportunity, right? So all on the new domain TLDs, you have that opportunity to find those jewels on. It's like a little diamond in the making. So in a few years, who knows how much it's going to be worth, right?
I misunderstood you. In other words, the suffix, the .com, I mean, not .ninja, those are still available. It's the first one you're saying is you have that. Some of the other ones that you mentioned, they're fine. Okay, those are certainly available.
Yeah. .coms are hard to find.
Yeah,
so .coms are really .coms are that's why in the market when we discuss with the market and ICANN and there is this need in the market to have more options. But so to also connect you with what you do with the domain, right? So for instance, now we have DDS, which is for dentists. Mm-hmm. So if you have, a website and it's a .dds, now everyone knows that, this is a site for a dentist. And same thing for instance, .menu, right? So if you are a restaurant, you can do, this is Antonio's Pizza .menu, and you can land right away on the menu of my restaurant, for instance. So we're going to see, I would say we're going to see a lot of new innovation coming from those domains.
Yeah. No,
and, I'm not really looking for numbers here, but I think so many people are so used to .com, .net, .gov, whatever it is, that the idea of a different suffix, I think at first was a turnoff, but then people realized that, hey, the suffix, it could really be something that people can relate to. It doesn't have to be, .xyz, although that is one, but it could be, just like you said, .club. It could be something relative to our business. Are you seeing growth there? Like I wouldn't, call it a success or a failure so soon, but do you see a demand for it?
Oh yeah. There's no doubt, right? So I think there was for many years we had the usual domains. Of course, .com is a big statement in the market, but look at Google, right? So Google just created a new parent company called Alphabet, and their domain is abc.yxyz. Right. So they're using the XYZ domain, TLD, and this is a proof of Google actually decided to go with abc.xyz as their domain name for the new parent company. I think that states that I think we're going to see a lot more. The customers and users will be a lot more used to these new domains as we move forward. It's very recent, few years now. I think we're going to see a lot of progress on that front.
Right. Yeah. It was starting to get pretty desperate out there when people were trying to register a new .com name, because I remember a couple of years ago that the advice when starting a new company, when starting a new business, when making a new website was, let's face it, folks, all the one-word .coms are taken, all the short .coms are taken. So start doing, Angela's Cookie Bakery.com. Like they start having you put sentences together and multiple words, string them together. So definitely this expanding of the dot, insert here is probably going to free up a lot of space.
That's correct. And that's the intention, right? So that's why we are all in the industry. We're all pushing for more options for the customer. If you have more options, it's always good for the customer. It's good for the market.
All right, I have one for you. Let's say that you have an established business. Let's say you're Computer America. Why not? And you, would you want to get one of these, dots, suffixes? Because our tagline here is, CCA. Are you seeing existing businesses, perhaps taking their abbreviation, taking highly desired, relevant to them dot whatever it is, and kind of redirecting it back to their .com?
Yeah, there are several use cases. I think what we're seeing is a mix of well-established brands reserving their brands on the new TLDs. And if we go, let's go to the average, most of the internet now, the small businesses, not just Google's and Yahoo's and Facebook's. If we look at the very small businesses, and the way that we approach this at GoDaddy, most of those small businesses, they actually go and call us, right? So they don't like, email, just send an email and then waiting. So they just, pick up the phone, call GoDaddy, and then it's very interesting. So they basically act as a consultant on the business. So they start talking about, hey, I wanna start my business. What do I do? And then our call center agents, they actually try to understand, what do you do? Oh, I have a radio show. Oh, you know what? That's great. So what's the name of your radio show? And then we try to find what is the best name for your business. And we have a very powerful in-house, search engine now that helps find, what is the best possible name available for you. So this is very personalized, right? So it's a human touch that we have, and I think it's very unique. And after, when in this process, what you see is that if a domain name is not available, but something very, very similar is available, what you're going to see is a lot of customers, they will change the name of their business
to match
to fit the domain.
Yeah.
Right. So to match the domain, because if Antonio's Pizza is not available, but Tony's Pizza is available, I'm gonna go with Tony's Pizza, because it really gets back to naming your business. And if you can find you online, have a direct brand connect, something similar, a lot of customers, they change the name of their business, which is very, very interesting.
I would think so. I mean, it's that powerful, to make the business name match the domain name.
Yeah, we actually had to go through that ourselves. We tried to name ourselves GoDaddy Radio, but kind of taken. So Computer America second best.
Well, one interesting thing is not necessarily, of course, the first step, and this is really great about what do we do here, is the first step is to understand what is the problem you have, what is the business you have, what do you do as a customer, and then once you get the name, what are you going to do with it? Right. So I think this is always the question, and most small businesses, they're not technical, right? So they don't understand how the internet works or what do they need to be online. So in that comes the next step, which is, what do you do with your domain? Once you have the domain, you need to have a website. And that's, we have a series of products. Most people know GoDaddy for the domain names, but we actually have a suite of products that can help you get online, and then get customers, get visitors, and then convert those visitors into customers, and hopefully grow your business and be successful and independent, right? So I think that's our vision, is to help enable those small businesses that very few companies care about. If you think about it, if you go to some major companies in the Silicon Valley and ask, what is the definition of a small business? Some of them will say, yeah, it's any company with less than 500 employees. And for us, it's really, a mom and pop shop. It's the hair salon, those very, very small businesses that, very few companies are really looking for, to support them and to help them. This is our main focus now.
Okay. So, now a lot of the process though is automated, right? I mean, when you put in a domain name that you're trying to register for, it will actually come up and say, well, that one's taken, but how about adding a number one, or it gives you some variations. It gives like 5 or 6 different variations that you can accept. And if those don't work, then what? Then can I elect to speak to GoDaddy or a live person? What's the process?
Yeah, you can always call us, right? So I think this is something that kind of gives, again, the human touch, and it's a big differentiation for GoDaddy. We have a number of very professional, customer care agents, and they really understand what we do, and they really understand on how to get the information from our customers as well. So of course, you can go to GoDaddy.com, search for anything, ComputerAmerica.com. I'm typing right now, and we will, of course, ComputerAmerica.com is not available, but we will try to find other options. For instance, ComputerAmerica.club is available, ComputerAmerica.co.vegas. So you can actually see a lot of options, and we also depending on the word, we make some, for instance, Antonio. Right? So we can, of course, this is not available as well, but we actually can see Anton.io. Right? So we can actually, our algorithm is smart enough to not only find the obvious domain names, but also to find, some very interesting combinations with the new domain extensions, the new TLDs.
Okay. I'm sorry, Ben. You were going to say
no. It's very nice that the search engine can do that, because I think before you had to be a little bit creative. You had to kind of guess, hunt, and peck, and hopefully something was gonna look clean enough, and it was going to be concise enough, and it was going to be yours. But I guess with the new suffixes, you can split a word right down the middle. I've seen that before, and things like that. So all this, and I think this is something that a lot of people that we've talked to here on the show, whenever they want to start a new business, whenever they want to, really, hey, websites are a big thing. It's not just the big businesses have them, individuals have them now, small businesses have them, but it's always a struggle to start. And I think with what you're doing there at GoDaddy, it's, if nothing else, you're getting people started, and that is a huge thing, because websites, they don't have to be complicated, but they're daunting when you don't know where to start.
That's very good, Ben. It's exactly what happens with most small businesses. And this is our goal is to, how can we make this super simple? Because what you need to do well is a radio show. Right? So what you need to do well as a florist is to get great options for roses and all the options you have in your store. And what we want is to actually take technology out of the way. Right? So technology is necessary today. It's very important that you have a website. If you ask any millennials today, how do they find a new spot to go, a new place to eat? They will, the vast majority of them, I would say 100% of them will say, I look at Yelp, I look at Foursquare, I look at Google. Right, so and then you ask yourself, what if my business is not on those sites? Then millennials don't know you exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so I just went to Grace Hopper. Please go ahead.
No, I was going to say exactly. If you're not on the internet today, you might as well not exist for the most part.
Exactly, and especially of course if you have your habits and your neighborhood, that's one point. But for the young people that are coming to the market and coming from college, there is if it's not online, it doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, but
so that's the ones that we want to help.
Yeah, but not only that, I would take it a step further. I think millennials, that's great, but I think even people who are well established. I know the other day I was looking for, I wanted to find a new burger place. I was tired of the ones. I said, I wonder the new burger. I said, well, where did I go? I didn't pick up the yellow pages. I didn't pick up the newspaper.
Exactly.
I went online and I found several burger places that were in my area that I didn't even know existed. And I'm a millennial.
Exactly.
So I think it affects all walks.
Craig is the definition of well established.
Yes, no, this is a great example. And I just just as an example, last week I was at Grace Hopper conference in Houston, where we have 12,000 women engineers participating, and most of them are college students. And I love to understand how, so I try to get a little survey with everyone that I talk to, and absolutely no one, how do you find something to eat if you're not from Houston? They all use Yelp, they all use Google, they all use, Foursquare, right? So, and this is what we try to do, and specifically my group in GoDaddy is how can we make it super simple for them to get a presence online that they're proud of. Right, so it's very important that you're proud of, to show your presence online, and then that presence online, your website, represents your business well. So that's what my group does is, how can we remove technology? You don't need to understand anything about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all that lingo. You don't need to worry about. You have a tool that is simple enough for you to have a very compelling, presence. And once you have that online, how can we get you more visitors, more customers, right? So that's what we do on my group, which is the presence team.
So GoDaddy is a lot more than just a domain name registrar. You're bringing the entire service, the entire process. It's like a one-stop shop. You can go to GoDaddy, and they're going to be able to help you. Because quite frankly, when I ask you the question, who needs a website? I'm sorry, but I think the answer is if you want to be in any way, shape, competitive in business, you need a website.
You need a website. Yeah, I completely agree with you.
You can't,
at least.
You can't compete today with how it's like it's synonymous to the olden days when, you know, if you were a business, you had to have a listing in the yellow pages. That's, I would say, 25, 30 years ago. If you didn't have a listing in the yellow pages, you couldn't compete because that's where everybody went. But it's changed. I can't remember the last time I picked up a yellow pages. I don't even think we have one anymore.
I'll admit that, you know, of course, I'm part of the younger generation. I'm, you know, 24, and I'll admit yellow pages, not so much a reference source, more of a, oh look, they just littered on my porch again.
Yeah, they try to get there.
I don't even get those anymore.
No, but I mean it's shifted. Everything is now. You don't look at the newspaper. You don't look at the yellow pages. If you're searching for some sort of service, a product, for anything having to do with business, it's the internet. It has to be. I mean, that's what it is today. And to say anything else, I think just is you're living in, you're deluding yourself. I really think that you have to have and you need to have a website. Now, how sophisticated or how complicated that website is, that's maybe another story. Now, does GoDaddy, I know, gets the name, you get the register, you get the domain name registered, you do all that, you find a great name, you get all that. But when it comes to the website itself, is that another service? Is that some other company, or does GoDaddy get involved with that as well?
No, yeah, we build everything. Right, so we build our own products. You know, for instance, the website builder, the GoDaddy website builder, which is the one that I'm head of engineering for those products. So we basically, you know, we offer a tool that you can easily do it yourself. That's what we call, you know, the market. It's the do-it-yourself market online, where you can do it yourself. If you know how to kind of use Microsoft PowerPoint or some tools similar to that, you can build your website.
Okay, so
right? So it's super simple to use.
So it's changed because I know it was about 8 or 9 years ago, or even 10 years ago, I went to GoDaddy and I wanted to, you know, do a website. And at that time, it was very simple. It was too simple. It wasn't sophisticated enough for what I needed. And so we went on to other services out there that would help you design websites. So so that's changed basically. Now you do a complete website creation, and you allow people with no experience in HTML whatsoever to still design and create their own website.
Yes, exactly. Right. So, you know, of course, you know, a few years ago, the technology was, you know, how, you know, we always focus on GoDaddy to how to make it super simple. And of course, then, you know, 9 years ago, it wasn't that simple. We didn't have HTML5.
No.
We didn't have a lot of the, you know, CSS3, a lot of the modern technology.
No.
We didn't have that. And but you know, there's so much more advancements now, and of course, it makes it super easy for us to. It's way easier for us to build those products for customers that don't have technical knowledge. But yeah, you know, I agree with you. A lot of people don't know that GoDaddy does this. You know, has so many services, and they're very, very much focused on the very small businesses. We don't even call, you know, usually the market calls small businesses as SMBs or small and medium businesses. We, you know, GoDaddy, we actually say that we focus on VSBs, which is, you know, very small businesses. And yeah, so we do focus on them, and that's why we try to make it super simple.
Well,
and also affordable.
Even if you are a very small, if you're a mom and pop operation, I mean, you know, 2-person operation, to compete. Really, unless you have something that's, and even if you have something that's unique that nobody else has, how are people going to find you? I mean, you know, if you are a 2-person operation, you have something that's unique, you need people to still be able to find you. And where are they going to find you? They're going to find you on the internet. You have to have a web, whether you're a Fortune 500 company, you're a mid-size, or you're a microscopic little tiny 2-person operation, you still...
Craig, I think you're starting to hurt feelings here. Careful.
Even if you don't have a brick and mortar stuff, especially if you don't have a brick and mortar, how are people going to find you then? The only way is going to be online.
The only way I see people trying to get around that is when they run their own business through another service. Like they run their business through eBay, through not Pinterest, Etsy and things like that. Like they run their storefront through other services. They feel like they don't have to have a website, but that even that only gets you so far. When you don't have your own corner of the internet, then you have to kind of rely on everyone else to do, what really you should be doing for yourself.
But when I go to eBay and I find something, I'm always looking for a button that says "Go visit their website." And
to see if they're professional, right? To see if they're trustworthy.
Exactly. And if they don't have a website to go visit, I feel really, hinky about, dealing with people like that. Listen, Antonio, we're at the bottom of the hour and we still have so much to talk about. I want to talk about, how Ben obviously mentioned eBay, but if you need to sell products online, how to GoDaddy help them to do that, and how hard is it to sell products online. I want to get into these issues as well with you, but we're going to take a little break, okay? And then we'll come right back. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are talking to GoDaddy's Antonio Silvera. He is the Vice President of Software Engineering, and we'll continue on with him. We've got also a news test bulletin review coming up as well. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I will be right back.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Relax, it's not that kind of a raid.
Hi, I'm Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the LSI Mega RAID SAS 9361 8i RAID controller card. It's a PCIe version 3 8X card that can connect as many as 8 SAS drives at up to 12 gig per second. 6 of our 8 are connected in a RAID 6 array, meaning 4 times the capacity of any one drive and 2 redundant drives. If 1 or 2 drives fails, the whole thing just keeps going and can rebuild. A 7th drive in the array is a hot spare and can come in if one actually is unusable. The 8th drive is an SSD, and LSI Cachecade software turns that into a front-end cache to speed up the entire array. Bottom line, the LSI Mega RAID SAS 9361 8i controller gives us our biggest, fastest, and safest storage all off the shelf. Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Thank you, Marty Winston, for that News Tip Bulletin review. Welcome back to the Computer America Show. We are talking to GoDaddy, and more specifically, Antonio Silveira, and he is the Vice President of Software and Software Engineering. He's the guy who work well. So yeah, we kind of left off there with the commercial right when we were getting into the perks of having a website, because we've talked about, I think we've nailed pretty well why you should have a website, and we've driven that into everyone's brains. But what are the perks of having a website? What can you actually do when you establish yourself online? And I guess the best place to start was we talked a little bit there about how people, more and more people are selling almost exclusively online. Having a storefront as sorry, Books a Million, you were my favorite, but even established brick and mortar stores, they're strictly going online. It's no longer needed to have a physical place. So how does GoDaddy help with selling products online?
That's a great topic, and I'm very passionate about this topic as well. How can we make it how can we make a difference for those people and merchants, and you have an idea, you want to do something. So one interesting statistic is that a big majority of our customers, we're talking about brick and mortar. So what's happening in the recent years is that we're reducing the barrier for you to try new things, right? So a lot of our customers that have, for instance, the GoDaddy online store, they actually have a day job, right? So, but they try their little initiative, their little venture at night. So they don't need the big investment of having a brick and mortar space, right? So they don't need a storefront on the street. They can start online. And I would say the vast majority of our customers, they don't even have a physical address. They only operate online. And this is great, right? So we are really in the recent years lowering the barrier for anyone to start their business online. And this is amazing, and I think it's great for the economy and for everyone to try to do whatever they're passionate about. And the product that I help build and I'm proud of offering to our customers, one of them is what we call the GoDaddy Online Store. And a lot of people think it's very hard for you to sell online. Oh my God, how am I going to accept, credit cards? What about shipping? And how do I print the labels? And we actually, again, our focus is how can we make it simple? And if you go today on GoDaddy.com and you select online store, you can start a trial, for instance, and you can, in like 10 minutes, if you have your products and the photos, you know what you're going to sell, you can, in 10 to 20 minutes, you can have your store up and running, accepting credit cards, with PayPal enabled, with everything, checkout, mobile, mobile experience. A lot of the commerce now is happening on mobile. So it's super easy, super simple, and affordable. You can try for free. And if it works and you start selling, just, convert to a paid version.
Well, wait.
So it's very, very exciting times.
So you go to GoDaddy, and where does it say online store? Because we're looking. Then
so if you go, so if you go to GoDaddy.com, you're gonna see websites, right? So websites in the top bar, and then you have an option saying, website builder, or you have online store. Online store is for, when you have some physical products you want to sell. I don't know if you have, if you build necklaces, or you have, have some great stores today, have one that is awesome, Charlie, he sells products for people that have long beards, right? So very big beards, and he's a success. He's a huge success, and also we have, for instance, Candace, she sells necklaces that are, baby friendly, right? So that's, we have all those this backstage stories about, moms that, had babies and they had to, leave their jobs to focus on a family, but they wanted to do something. We have a lot of those amazing stories to, at success stories with our customers. So, it's great. It's awesome.
So let me ask you this. Okay. So if you have someone who makes a product, and it could be anything from baby necklaces to quilts or whatever it is. How
Mm-hmm.
and they've tried, let's say, the eBay route, and
Mm-hmm.
and they're tired of people they'll put a price up there, and then people will try to barter them down, and can and say, oh, I'll offer you something was like $300, so I'll give you $100, or you get all this, and you don't want to do that. You want you're legit.
I think, and really, I think that the reason that they feel comfortable doing that is because when you're on eBay, you're just a person with a product, and it's an auction site, so they don't mind doing that. But I feel like when you get a storefront, you become a business owner, and people don't try to take those same liberties with businesses. Like, they just know that, hey, this is a business, and here's the price. Will you pay? Yes or no? And have a nice day.
Do you agree with that?
And if you look, and if you look at marketplaces, right? eBay is a marketplace, Etsy is a marketplace. I think for you to start, so you want something that is low barrier to entry. I think those options were a reality in the past. They were the only option. But if you look recently, what's happening in the industry, as we talked about, domains and everything, and as Craig, you mentioned a few years ago, it wasn't that easy, or the website that was built was not that impressive. Today you have a lot of more options, right? So and we're not even talking about fraud, right? So if you go to eBay, you're gonna probably, if you're naive, you're gonna ship the product and never get paid, right? So there is a lot of concern about security and fraud and other things that they are related to marketplaces. And what we're seeing is actually, if you go, for instance, one of our customers, she sells baby bibs, right? So baby bibs for little babies, so they don't get all dirty and all, and they're easily washable. Snapbibs.com. So she actually started at Etsy, right? So she, let's start at Etsy. Etsy has a marketplace, it has customers, but then she started to get a lot of customers herself. And what happened is, if you search for baby bibs in Etsy, there are 300 or more. So how do you differentiate yourself? Right? So how unique are you going to be? You're just one. And then when you have so many options, it becomes a commodity. So what do we help is, then she came to GoDaddy and said, she called the call center and said, hey, I want to have my own brand. I'm tired of being just one more. And then, I'm pretty sure she built like in a few hours. She was one of our first customers of this product 2 years ago. And she's making thousands of dollars now selling baby bibs. And, we're very proud of helping those, these customers be successful, because there's a lot of misinformation about, how difficult it is. It's not difficult anymore. So you can really start your own brand. You can have your own domain. You can look professional, very, very easily and cheap, right? So it's not that expensive. It's very affordable these days.
Right. Well, you obviously make it easier to do that, and now you provide them all the mechanisms to sell online. Taking credit cards and all
shopping carts as well.
Shopping carts, checkout,
everything. Yeah.
checking
so we
out.
Have, we have the complete solution. So it's really a one product that offers all those solutions. So you can easily, for instance, buy a domain, attach that domain to your store, and accept, start selling. Literally, of course, I know the product, top to bottom. I can start a store in like 5 minutes, but most of our customers, they take a few, less than an hour to have a store up and running. Right, so it's really simple, and that means they can accept all major credit cards right out of the box. They can accept PayPal right out of the box, and that's super easy, super fast.
Now, how do you get the word? How do you get the word out? If you have a product XYZ, and how do you market that? I mean, people have to find you still. You tie in with Google.
Exactly.
I mean, what's the next step? What do you do with that?
Exactly, right. So the first thing, as we talk in the first half of the show, the first thing, get a great name. So get a name that represents your business. Once you get the name, get your store, your products, and it's important that you look professional. and we have beautiful themes that will make you unique and professional. But also your product photos. It's important to take good photos of the products. After you have your products in your store, how do we attract visitors, right? So, and then that's where comes, as you mentioned in the beginning, we're really a one-stop shop for small businesses. So we have products like what we call GoDaddy Get Found, where we help you get listed on Google. We help you get listed on Yelp, on Foursquare. So we take your data in your products and we actually publish on those services, right? So you can automatically be, if someone searches for burgers in New York, or burgers in Soho, if you have that, you will find you're going to be location-based searches, for instance, right? So we help you with that. We also help you with SEO, right? So for you to have search engine, what do we call search engine optimization? That's the lingo we use. But for you to, how can you be on the first page of Google? Right? Yeah. So if you're not on the first page of Google, no one goes to the second page really on Google, right? Uh-huh. So we help you find the keywords and the structure and the names and how you describe your products and your pages, so you can get listed and get on the first page of Google and get well represented online. So it as again, this is a cycle, right? So get a great name, get your store up and running, look professional, accept all types of payments. Well, then we get you listed.
But let me ask you this,
and then
go ahead. You mentioned search engine optimization. This is basically to get on the first page of Google and everything. And I know there are a lot of companies that claim that they will do that, and you pay them so much and they'll do it. And basically, for the most part, it's pretty much a scam because they can't do that. My understanding, the way it works is that the more websites that point or link back to your website is the only true way to get search engine optimization, to get ranking. And because the more websites that point back to you, that means you're probably more relevant, and Google takes that into effect, and that's how you get on the first page. What's your response to that?
Yeah, the algorithm, I would say it's true. There's a lot of scammers out there, right? So they, but I've got to say, search engines are very much scientific. Mm-hmm. And if you understand how the algorithm works, you can really make it happen, right? So it's what you mentioned, which is, cross links is important. And there is the weight, what do we call the weight of the link that points to you. So if, you are at the homepage of yahoo.com, of course, your ranking will be higher. But today, with the latest improvements on Google algorithm, what they call Panda, in the most recent one, they're changing the weights, right? So they're changing the weights. Of course, cross-linking is very important. But now, for instance, if you have a very performance site, has a big impact on your position. If you have a site but it's slow, Google actually will put you down on the list. So if you have a site and you don't have a mobile version of your site, Google will actually downgrade your site on the list. So it's much more complex now. Also, Google uses a lot of location-based information, so they prefer to present any results that are relevant to where you are right now. So if you're looking for pizzerias, Google will prefer to show you the sites that have a store close to you. Right, so it's much more complex these days, and that's what we do. Right, so we use science. It's not a bunch of we have a lot of science. We to get what is the right keywords, where you should be, how we publish your site to get you well positioned. And with the Get Found product, we have a very high success rate to get you on the front page of Google as well. Of course, this all takes time. So the algorithm takes time to parse the internet, to see how you're improving your SEO. But I would say it takes about a month for you a little more than a month but up to a month, 6 weeks for you to start seeing you going to almost basically the first page of Google. And we've seen a lot of success on this product.
Okay, so
and real quick, I mean, if we're talking about how to get your website noticed and the whole algorithm thing, one thing that Google has very clearly put an emphasis on is having a mobile version of your site. Has GoDaddy put any effort into either porting a site or letting customers design their own mobile version?
Yeah, so for instance, this is very important, right? So a lot of the e-commerce is happening. If you look at the latest results from Amazon, from eBay, there's the growth on e-commerce on mobile phones and smartphones. It's astronomical. So we need to help small businesses get there as well. So all stores that you build with GoDaddy Online Store, they have a mobile optimized version right off the box. So we don't need to do anything. Right, so we have everything mobile optimized for tablets and smartphones. And also you guys asked about how do you get customers, right? So how do you help someone find you? Of course, we have all those tools that help get you listed on what is relevant. Also improves your SEO ranking, your search ranking. But also there is what we call the merchant initiatives. So once you start selling and have your customers on your store, you should be able to actually also reach out to them. Right? So you should be able to send a newsletter for them. And recently GoDaddy met Mimi, which is one of the companies in the market, a great startup, great people there. And we recently integrated this product, we call it GoDaddy Email Marketing, into Online Store and our website builder. So our customers, again, they don't need to understand anything about email marketing. They just need to one-click enable customers to subscribe to their sites. And then, very easily they can send a newsletter, a professional-looking newsletter to their customers. They can send coupons. They can, get them to get back, right? So once you start selling, the next challenge for you is how to have a repeat customer, right? How do you attract them again? So this is, another product that we recently integrated, easily for you. You have an online store, you get your customers, you can easily send a newsletter for them and get them back into your store and back and selling and repeating those sales.
So it looks to me like you really have the roadmap for to bring a new business to the internet. It looks really you have a whole roadmap here.
Yeah. And in the end, our goal is very simple. It's the goal is very simple. Executing it's always the hard part. We want you to be successful, because if you're successful, we will you will continue being our customers, and you will grow your revenue, and we grow with our customers. So for you to be successful, you need to have a great presence. You need to attract visitors. You need to make those visitors your customers. So you need to be able to accept payments and get money from your customers. Mm-hmm. And then you need to grow and retain those customers, right? So it's what we call a virtuous cycle. Get a great presence, get visitors, convert them to customers, get them to be repeated, loyal to you. So that's what we do. That's what we try to do with all our products, is to, if we can get you to be successful, our customers become loyal, GoDaddy customers, and, everyone gains. And the market gains, everyone gains.
Are there some niche businesses or services that may not fit into your general roadmap? I mean, you say, oh, well, okay, this person has a business, but they don't really deal with repeat business. They sell something that's kind of unique, and they have a lot of unique items, but it's not like where you get repeat customers. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head where they might not fit into your typical business model, and can you accommodate people like that?
I think this is the key customer for us. Right. So if you think about it, what makes you go to a site that is not Amazon or eBay? Right. So because if it's a big brand, if you're selling Sony products, just go and buy at Sony.com or Amazon. But what you can't find is, handmade, dresses with, some specific, textures. So those things are unique. So what makes customers successful is unique and differentiated products. So reselling big brands is not going to make you, successful, because then you're going to fight with the big ones on price. If you have something, unique that you can't find anywhere, you can control the price. So as an owner, you can actually have a premium price for that. And those are the customers they're actually, most of our customers, they have unique products that you can't really find anywhere else. And and this is great. This is actually the most successful, customers we have.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'd like to try something with you, and I'll talk to you. I have an idea for a business for someone, and
that's great.
Maybe what we should do is I'll contact you at the show, and we can see if we can work together to make it happen. Then have you come back on the show and talk about their success. If you're up for
definitely,
that,
definitely, Craig.
We'll definitely do something like that. All right. So now, what is the cost for doing that? We haven't really talked about dollars. What are some of the prices that you need to know for creating, managing, and selling, and all this? What kind of?
So most of GoDaddy has a goal, which is to be always affordable, right? So we want to be easy, and we want to be affordable for you to try. So website builders, for instance, for you to build your site, it starts at $1 a month. And online store, you can start, you have the first month free, so you can try, see if it works, see if you like it, and for the first month it's free. And then we have a series of options for you in terms of sizes of the store, and also on the website we have different tiers of products as well, but always affordable, at least free, or $1 a month.
Wow. Okay. And again,
it starts at free and $1 a month.
I see you have personal, business, and business plus. I guess the business plus is just the.
Does the price go up with traffic or with features? What constitutes? Because all these are starting at $1. What would make it go up?
Yeah. For instance, the business plus includes SEO in our search engine optimization product, which uses our algorithms and our parsing, advanced parsing. It's included on the business plus. But the best way, because we have a lot of promotions all the time, is to go to GoDaddy.com and check the promotions there. If you're already a customer, our site is personalized, so he understands the products you have, understands the domains you have, and we actually, the page that you're seeing, if you're logged in, it's different than mine.
Wow.
Right? So because we personalize the page to each customer.
All right. Well, again, you can check it out at GoDaddy.com. That's it. Or you can go to ComputerAmerica.com. We have a link right to the GoDaddy website right on our homepage at ComputerAmerica.com. Antonio, really very interesting. I think that people should check it out if they're looking for a one-stop place to go to get all their needs to create and market and sell online. And this is certainly something for everybody to check out. And I'll get in touch with you, and we'll try a project out together and see how we can make this work, and then come back on and talk about how it worked. Okay?
Definitely, Craig. Definitely. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Craig.
Antonio, thank you for being here on the show with us today. Have a good day, and we'll be in touch. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye. Take care.
All right. There you go. All right. Again, GoDaddy.com. It's a lot more than just a domain name register, because so many of us think of GoDaddy as just doing that, and they're obviously so much more, and provide you really a one-stop service to for creating or enhancing your business. Because as I said, if you're not online, you're nowhere. Exactly.
Well, you could also argue that if you're only online, you're technically nowhere. So
yeah,
nowhere, anywhere, interchangeable.
Okay. Well, that's true too. I mean, if you don't have but you don't have to have a brick and mortar today to be successful.
Oh no, of course not.
With the way things now work online, and again, as I said, I mean, it used to be the yellow pages. That was it, and now, who uses it anymore? It's become an anachronism.
Steve Martin.
Exactly right. From the jerk, yeah, exactly.
Yep. He's a somebody.
Yeah, here I am. He was in the white pages. So there was at the point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think anybody uses the white pages either anymore. I mean, gee, the
Private investigators, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Although I guess they would just use Google as well because everyone already made a nice little Facebook profile about them.
Yeah, and not only that, they have online private investigative services that people in that business can use.
Yeah, they say they have those. I'm just 99% sure it's just Facebook and Google. Like, I don't know what those private services have, but it can't be anything more than what's available for free.
Yeah. Hey, if you exist today, you're online somewhere, and they can find you.
So why not make a website?
Yeah. Interesting stories that we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about something called NBC CISO. It's the beginning of the end for traditional TV channels. Wow. Also, Amazon 1-hour deliveries are expanding. Could be coming to a city near you.
But probably not.
Then we got a lot of really great stories coming up here on the Computer America Show. We're going to just take a short break, just a few moments, and then Ben and I will return. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Oh, we're going to have another news tips bulletin review as well. That's all coming up in the second hour of Computer America. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest running nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
We had GoDaddy on the show. Very interesting gentleman, very interesting hour, because GoDaddy really has become so much more than the world's largest domain name registrar. If you missed that, you
so much more than just the sponsor of Danica Patrick.
You can certainly listen to it again. We archive all of our shows at ComputerAmerica.com. Just check out our archive page. Tomorrow is our social media winner of the week coming up. So we want to make sure that you're registered. Again, check out our website at ComputerAmerica.com. Under the Interact pull-down menu, you'll see our social media contests. Check it out. Get yourself registered. It's really simple. It's very easy to do. And who knows, we could be calling your name tomorrow night. Okay. So before we start, anything else that you want to mention? Oh, well, yeah. Let me just do this. Let me talk about the iPhone. This is... or should
yes, there's an upgrade alert.
Yes, there is an upgrade alert. Mm-hmm. The upgrade alert.
Because for some reason, the submarine going under sound is the proper sound for upgrades. But whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 9.0.2, yesterday, they upgraded to 9.1 for your iOS. And this release includes new features, not just improvements and bug fixes, which is usually when it's a 9.0 point something, it's a 100th, it's just bug fixes. But with 9.1, they have some new features. Now, this again, according to Apple, live photos, which I think are really cool, by the way, because you can make your lock screen a live photo now with this. Anyway, live photos now intelligently senses when you raise or lower your iPhone, so that live photos will automatically not record these movements. Okay, which is interesting. There's over 150 new emoji characters with full support for Unicode 7.0 and 8.0 emojis. They've improved stability, including CarPlay, music, photo, Safari, and search. They've improved performance while in multitasking user interface. They fixed an issue that could cause Calendar to become unresponsive in month view. Most of them, again, are bug fixes. So the first three that I announced are the new features. And then the rest of them are fixing, things like an issue that caused the activation errors in some carriers, that type of thing. So, so they fixed a lot of the issues. Basically, if you have 9.0.2 or earlier, you definitely should update to 9.1, which I have done so, and again on your iPhone. Now, let me just mention also that I don't know if I announced this, but yours truly now has an iPhone 6S. I don't know.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know. I finally updated, and so I have to say that I really.
Is it a little better?
It's a lot better. Yeah, it's a lot better. I really do enjoy the phone, and that they've made a lot of improvements with the 6S, and I've joined the plan that allows me to upgrade the phone when the new one comes out. I can upgrade to the new phone. So hopefully from now.
Oh, so you're doing the whole Apple leasing thing?
No, it's not Apple leasing. It's an AT&T lease. It's called
AT&T lease.
Yeah, exactly right. They'll allow you to get the new phone with the new. So when the iPhone 7 comes out in a year from now, we'll be able to get the 7. I'm going to get you on the same plan, so you'll be able to do that. So we'll always have the latest version of the iPhone. All right. So anyway, so if you don't have if you need to upgrade to 9.1, if you have it set, your iPhone will do it automatically in the cloud too. You don't even have to connect it to your computer. You can upgrade the OS automatically. Your iPhone will attempt to do that without you having to do anything. I think you have to have it set that way, and I think it defaults that way in the OS that you have. Okay. Well, that said, let's do some computer news.
All right.
All right. There we go. Today's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. Slimwareutilities.com. Check them out. You'll be happy that you did. You'll thank us for it. Really, it's terrific. Slimwareutilities.com.
Right. So the first story that we're going to do is one about a bank. A bank? Yes, a bank. A bank with a very weird clause in their employees' contracts that if you're an IT professional, maybe this is par for the course. Maybe this is something that just happens all the time and something that we're oblivious to, but it doesn't seem like a good solution. So yes, we're going to talk about a bank, and this story coming from the Register. And laid off IT workers, you want free on-demand service for what now? And essentially, what this is that a bank by the name of SunTrust, although this is a particular branch, they laid off a bunch of IT staff. They laid off about 100 different people.
Wow.
Off of a series of stores. And according to their to a clause in there saying that after they were laid off for the next 2 years after, they are to remain on call, and if in the event of something that only you would know, that private information that maybe you set up a network and you set up passwords and you set up a a system and something that only you would know, that only you would figure out, and they needed you to come fix it for the next 2 years, you'd have to be on call, come in, fix it for absolutely free.
Whoa.
Again, after they laid you off. This isn't, hey, you quit and you're going to agree to do this. And no, they didn't agree. Like, this was in their severance package. So, assuming that they wanted to get fired and they wanted to have some kind of money to hold them over until they find their new job, they had to agree to 2 years of essentially free IT support.
Wow.
And, it's very, very risky, I think, because a lot of companies I know do this as soon as you hand in your 2 weeks notice. Many companies out there will just kind of hand you your last paycheck and usher you out the door. Like, if you're dealing with sensitive information, and let's face it, banks have some of the most sensitive information out there, they don't want you running the risk of being agitated, being vindictive, and messing with their systems. So they'll just usher you out the door and take away all your privileges. These guys, they want you to be on call, come in, and potentially work on their systems for years after they've given you the boot.
For no money.
For no money. For no money. So, and there was a statement in regard to this. SunTrust Bank did respond to this, saying that the event in which we would call an ex-employee to come in and work on our system is very, very rare, and it would only be, again, for information that only they would know. But the fact that it could possibly happen, that it still has happened, is just an all-around weird way to get fired and then have to be on call, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people would get this mentality of when you leave a company, hopefully you leave there on good terms, but you no longer work for them. You're no longer contracted with them, so you don't really have to take orders from them. Like that's one of the nice little perks about not having a job anymore, is that when they call you up more, so I really don't have to take your phone calls. But SunTrust, they found a way to put it into the clause, a clause and insert it into a severance package. Bing, bang, boom. This is why this article here from the Register is calling it zombie IT people, because back from the dead, you have to keep working.
I don't feel very comfortable with that, especially if I were banking at a
yeah, right. It's a very confusing headline, and I'll admit there may be some, a lot of this may just be knee-jerk reaction, but knee-jerk reactions sometimes have a lot of merit. And when you have someone there who used to work there and now is forced to keep working there, you're not going to get the best out of them. You're not going to get the highest quality. Just in general, I'm not saying on a person-by-person basis. I don't know these people. I'm just saying you're not paying them anything, and yet you're forcing them to come in and work for you. That isn't going to lead to the best quality every time.
No.
Very strange story.
Very extremely strange. I have never heard anything like that. So.
Oh no! Like I said, when most institutions, when they lay you off, they give you your severance package, and then they're essentially done with you. You know, right. They want to make sure that they are protected from anyone who may harbor ill will against the company. This one, no, they have you come in and help out every once in a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust one single line of code somebody like that would write for whatever they had to fix.
And don't get me wrong, there are nice people out there, but at the same time, on the opposite side of this, there are people who used to work there, did good work there, and hey, maybe they are some of those really, really nice people that will come in and fix it for you for absolutely free. I think that's wrong. SunTrust, they're a huge bank.
Yeah.
They do billions of dollars in business. Don't you think that they could afford, consultation fees, that they could, hey, pay these people for their time to come in and fix something after, hey, you've no longer given them a job? Like, can't they at least, put it into the contract that they're now, on-call pay consultants instead of, hey, you work for free now?
Yeah, no, I can understand paying them. That would make sense.
I think that's my big thing. I don't think that any of these people are going to go out of their way to purposefully hinder this company. But, hey, these people are still doing work. You should at least pay them.
Exactly. I guess we'll just have to see.
It was a strange story, so we thought we'd bring that to you.
Yeah, okay. Now, we reported this on Tuesday. TechHive had a story about something called YouTube Red. And Ben didn't like adding the color to it because it didn't really describe what it is. But basically, YouTube Red, they announced they're bringing YouTube videos ad-free, and you pay the price for it. It's called, if you subscribe to YouTube Red, $10 a month gets you ad-free video. But according to the story from TechHive, Jared Newman, there's a lot more.
Yeah, because it's a service. It's not just like a lot of different sites. They'll ask you to upgrade to Pro, upgrade to membership, donate $3, whatever it is, and they'll take all the ads away. It's not just that. YouTube Red is shaping up to be a full-blown service.
Yeah, so like Netflix. So they announced $10 a month subscription for the world's largest streaming video service. It's launching the 28th of this month. Now, Beyond just removing all advertising from YouTube, including banners, pre-roll videos, mid-roll videos, search ads, homepage ads, and overlays, YouTube Red will also offer a grab bag of other benefits. Now, here's a little bit of a rundown of what YouTube Red will actually get you. This first one I really, really like, and that's offline playback. So basically, you can store videos on your iOS and Android phone for up to 30 days. So you can, if you know that you're going to be in an area where you're not going to get a high bandwidth, or if you're in a plane or that type of thing.
I think like the 30 days is really nice of them, but I don't think people are going to be saving these videos for 30 days. I think it's, going on an airplane, going in a place where you're not going to have service and you don't want to eat up your data, load up your phone for that one day and, play it back.
Or a week or something if you're on the road for a week. A lot of people are, and you don't want to pay motel or hotel rates, for watching premium videos. You can just do this. You can be all set. Video quality is adjustable, so you can dial down the resolution when space is running short on your device. Just keep in mind that that if you do leave the United States, any videos you've already saved will work, but you can't save new videos until you're back in the U.S., which makes sense. So that's the first line, offline playback. They've also added Google Play Music. This is a subscription to YouTube Red, also gets you into Google Play Music All Access. So the $10 per month streaming music service that's similar to Spotify and Apple Music and includes millions of on-demand songs along with ad-free internet radio. Likewise, if you subscribe to Google Play Music All Access, you'll automatically get YouTube Red at no extra charge. Can you finish the story?
Yeah, sure. And just for everyone out there, I'm kind of wondering, I don't have the numbers here in front of me. I'm looking at some of the albums here on Google Play Music. And, it's just like iTunes. There are songs that run you $1. There are albums that run you a couple dollars. There's free music in there as well. And, that's all well and good. But I'm wondering what the actual cost of Google Play Music is if they have an unlimited feature, and if that comes even close to the $10. Because the $10, I mean, if you're paying $10 for Google Play Music, why not just go $10 for YouTube Red and get Google Play for free?
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Okay, I guess we can check into what it costs what Google Play Music costs. You can actually check that out while we're doing this. Other feature background videos on iOS and Android. Video soundtracks will continue to play in the background if you switch to another app or turn off the screen. That's nice. Okay. This makes the most sense if you're watching a music video or anything else where audio is the main component. So you can actually turn off the screen and still be listening to all of this stuff. Also, you get some exclusive content because YouTube is partnering with some of its star video creators to create new programming just for Red subscribers. The lineup includes a reality adventure series with Felix PewDiePie, a satire of reality singing competitions by the Fine Brothers, and a full-length action comedy film from Rooster Teeth and Full Screen Films.
Rooster Teeth are some of my favorite people. They do really great work.
Yeah. The first wave of programming, by the way, will arrive in January.
By the way, I looked at Google Play Music Unlimited, and it definitely is a service, and it costs you $10 a month.
So switch over to Google Red, and you get that for free.
Yep. Well, YouTube Red, not Google Red.
I mean, yeah, YouTube Red, exactly. Now, the article goes on to say, as for lack of advertising, it'll apply to both YouTube proper and YouTube Gaming. Wow. Google's answer to the popular game streaming service Twitch, the only case where ads can slip through is when they're embedded directly into a video by the content creator. Well, that makes sense because YouTube would have no control over that. That's the actual video, okay? In other words, if a video announces that it's about to break for a word from its sponsor, you'll see that ad in the stream because it's part of that stream, okay? There's no automated process that brings that to, so they have no way of controlling that. There's also one more disclaimer with YouTube Red. YouTube already offers some paid content in the form of individual channel subscriptions, movie rentals, and pay-per-view purchases. You won't get a free ride for any of those things with YouTube Red. Okay.
Which makes sense. If you pay for your subscription to, DirecTV, AT&T, Comcast, whatever cable provider you have, you pay for cable, but then they have on-demand, movies that just came out, music channels that are exclusive, premium channels. Same kind of deal here with YouTube. They have premium channels and on-demand purchases.
Right. So the question is, who is YouTube Red for? Well, at the moment, Google is aiming it at music enthusiasts. So for the same price as Apple Music and Spotify, you get a comparable streaming music service plus a whole bunch of extra benefits. It's kind of interesting. But in the long term, it's possible that YouTube Red could become more of a competitor to Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. YouTube doesn't have the same type of premium content, but don't forget there's a whole generation of viewers who care far more about Minecraft videos than they do about Better Call Saul. Okay.
You never heard Better Call Saul?
Yeah, I have. I have never watched it, but I've heard of it.
It's the Breaking Bad knockoff, I think.
Okay.
Right.
Now, YouTube Red could become their video service of choice as they start to have more disposable income. So just yet another service made available.
Like, I could see it being a competitor to Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime eventually if they start getting some of those services. But like for YouTube, I think that would only work if you provide those same movies with the free version as well. Because, as soon as you start segregating YouTube into the paid side and the non-paid side, that's getting a little weird. But like for this is no ads and you get a couple other perks from different services. It's probably closer to Amazon Prime. Obviously, you don't get the free shipping because Google doesn't do shipping anything. But it's going to give you access to a network of services, which is the reason why I still pay for Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, like the shipping's great. Like that's primarily why I use it. The 2-day free shipping is amazing. All the other benefits, all the movie rentals, all the streaming, all the music, all the, insert different service here. They have like a dozen of them. That's just added bonus, and that's just incentive to keep using it. YouTube can reel people in for, let's say, the music or the ad-free services, but then keep adding other services to keep people interested. And I think that's where YouTube is going to potentially have a good service in YouTube Red, or just have another famous Google useless service. Because heaven knows, Google, they put out a lot of services, and many of them don't stick around for long.
Why, you think they're too vertical?
No, not that. It's just that Google, they have a culture that's all about trying different things. I mean, it's somewhere in their handbook that like 20% of Google employees' work week has to be dedicated to a new product, a new service, new ideas, innovation. And so, 1 day out of every 5-day work week, you're spending it thinking of something new to bring out. And, Google turns it around, tries to make it a product. And that's how we get stuff like Google self-driving car. That's how we got Google Maps. That's how we got, Google everything.
But a lot of them stick. I mean, Google Maps.
Well, no. The ones I named stick. Yeah. There are hundreds of other Google services that you haven't even heard about that have gone by the wayside. It's just, the best 12 have stuck around because of this innovation. But, the 100 or so others that weren't so good, that didn't catch on, they quietly go by the wayside. So we're going to have to see if YouTube Red is one of those that sticks around and is going to become very popular, or quietly goes away until we hear about their closure date in 2017. Everyone's like, oh yeah, that was a service, wasn't it? And then it goes away.
Yeah, but it's interesting because YouTube Red is making a very splashy introduction, where those 100 other ones that you're mentioning, you don't even hear about them. I mean, you're lucky if you hear about it as a beta program. When they come up with this new idea, as you say, they don't really promote it unless for some reason they think it's going to be a huge success.
All right. Well, let's take a little trip down memory lane. Google Lively. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
You have.
I forgot what it was, though.
Exactly. Google Lively. It was it was a weird social non-game virtual environment, and it kind of let you create an avatar. You get to talk to people. Think Habbo, but for Google.
Okay.
That went away very quietly. Google Answers, as opposed to Yahoo Answers or many of the other websites out there. Google Answers got phased out.
Okay.
Seems like a good idea. Worked for other people, didn't work for Google, went away. And it's just different, different ideas like this. They try them all the time. Doesn't mean they'll stick.
Okay. Well, it just seems to me that YouTube Red is making a more splashy introduction than the other ones that you mentioned.
Google Buzz, that was around for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Google Buzz eventually turned into Google Plus, although some people are surprised that Google Plus is still around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like the idea that Google is linking all their services though with one name and password, which is kind of interesting. I like that.
Yeah, that would be definitely nice. People are tired of passwords and different accounts, especially with Google, because hey, if you use a couple of their services, you have 5 or 6 different
passwords. Yeah,
accounts. It's weird. So next story, we're gonna do. We have a little bit of time before the break here, and let's talk about Tesla and their autopilot system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Mike Sarmack was on the show. They pushed out an auto driving update, a self-driving feature update to the Tesla cars, but only to certain Model S's. Only Model S's that were created in the past year and a half, year or so, because they had the proper sensors and things like that. Great. But people have already started to use them on the road, and because hey, you give people a toy and they're going to try it out, and it's cool and all, but it's definitely a beta feature. It's definitely something not explicitly ready for everyday use.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, they market it as it's ready for, hey, you're on the highway, turn it on and it will maintain your speed, keep you from occupying the same space as the car in front of you, keep you in your lane, that kind of thing. Right. It will do a lot of that stuff. But people are starting to take it, onto off ramps. They're starting to take it into everyday city driving, into parking lots, and while admittedly it's making a valiant effort, it's doing a very, very good job of not getting into any accidents. It doesn't have the brains of a person. So what that means is that you can go into the self-driving car. And by the way, I'm going to pull information from Wired.com, and Alex Davies has this one. And yeah, there are already videos on YouTube showing just what is happening. But these cars, they think like a machine. They think like a machine, so they don't think like people. And they don't know that, hey, when you make a turn, increase your speed at the apex of your turn. So slow down going into it, speed up coming out of it, and that will keep the centrifugal force, blah, blah. It just makes for a smoother turn, right?
Yeah.
Well, the computer doesn't know that. The computer just simply knows stay within your lane, keep this speed limit, blah, blah, blah. So people are getting into situations where, hey, they're not crashing, I'll give them that, but they're taking turns at 60 miles an hour. They're doing like they're going into parking lots and they're just going crazy. Like they even had a situation where I believe a gentleman was doing the autopilot feature, and the car was going about 90 miles an hour. And again, at no point were these in any accidents or anything like that. It's just they behave like machines. They behave that here are my parameters, here's how we're going to do it, and there you go. Like they don't have that sense of, okay, well, people like to feel safe and comfortable. They don't think like that. So you can go check out a bunch of different videos. They're already hitting YouTube because people who have these Tesla cars, they love to slap on a dashboard cam and, show you just what you're missing out on.
Yeah, I'm watching one of the videos now of the car coming in. Holy mackerel.
Right, yes. So, pulling from the article here saying that autopilot caused a few scares, Roy says, largely because the car was moving so quickly. Quote, there were probably 3 or 4 moments where we were on autonomous mode at 90 miles an hour with hands off the wheel. And the road curved, where a train driver would aim for the apex, the geometric center of the turn, to maintain speed and control. The car follows the lane lines. He says, if I hadn't had my hands there ready to take over, the car would have gone off the road and killed us. He's not annoyed by this, though. That's my fault for setting a speed faster than the system's capable of compensating. So these three aren't the only people pushing the system's limits. Tesla owners already are posting videos of themselves driving with their hands off the wheel, sometimes with harrowing results like being pulled over for speeding and nearly steering into oncoming cars. So yeah, it sounds like you can even put it above the standard feature. Like, you think for autopilot it would be capped at like 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, something that would be reasonable. But it sounds like these people can make adjustments on the fly. This, like you said, this gentleman had it at 90 miles an hour on auto drive. And hey, maybe if the autopilot was on 55 or 65, it would have safely been able to maneuver that road. But
I just watched where it was a little harrowing.
Right. But again, these things are machines and they will not think like people, and they're not there yet. It's a nice first step, but no one has it perfect.
All right, we're going to take another break here. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are doing computer technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, and we've got lots more coming up. Be right back. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Okay, I'll try not to blow it. Hi, Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Panasonic Whisper Recessed LED Fan. Yep, we got it in and noted several interesting attributes. Its light source is a bi-pin LED flood that produces 950 lumens of light on just 13 watts of power. The capacitor Scirocco fan blower is also energy thrifty and capable of an extended service life while also reducing the acoustic footprint of the fan. In other words, the existing ceiling fans in our current just 4-year-old house are 3 to 4 times noisier. So lower noise, lower power consumption, longer intervals before any repair or replacement concerns arise, and great airflow all come together. Bottom line, compared to the Panasonic Whisper Recessed LED fan, any other fans we've ever had just suck, and noisily at that. Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show, and it's at 33 minutes past the hour. We're doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimmer Utilities. And yeah, we're doing news stories that we find interesting about self-driving, about banks, about Google services, whatever tickles our fancy. And I believe the next story, because I think we're finished up with this Tesla one, the more of that story was, hey, don't push Tesla. They're trying and they're doing things as best they can. Don't do something before it's ready. There's a reason Google, with all of its resources and with all of its testing, still says that self-driving cars are 4 years down the road. It's not ready for prime time. So, with that being said, Craig, next news story is, of course, yours.
All right. And Amazon is in the news again. We reported on something, 1 hour deliveries. I mean, same day deliveries, 1 hour deliveries. That's amazing. You order something on Amazon Prime, and 1 hour later, you have it at your doorstep. Well, they're expanding it. They're expanding it to San Antonio and San Jose. See, Amazon.
Well, San Antonio, San Jose, and San Francisco. So if you live in a San,
yes,
pretty good chance you have Amazon Prime now.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a sand dweller. Amazon has announced that the services are now available in San Jose, San Francisco, and San Antonio, and other places around the Bay Area, including Mountain View and Cupertino, which happen to be the homes of Google and Apple, okay, respectively. Prime Now, that's what they're calling the service, Prime Now, also is hitting San Antonio, which joins Austin, Dallas, and most recently Houston as the Texan cities where Amazon's ultra-fast delivery is offering is live. Now, in case you're not familiar with Amazon Now, basically it lets Prime members receive select orders in less than 60 minutes for a $7.99 fee with an app that's available for iOS, Android, and Kindle devices. Or if you're not in a rush to get the items, they can be at your doorstep in about 2 hours free of charge. So that's me. So you can get it within, I mean, this is what it used to be the next day. And then the same day. And then they have within 2 hours. And now they're getting it within 60 minutes, 1 hour. I mean, how much further down are they going to whittle this thing? I think that's about it. I don't know if you can go any faster than, in an hour. And what happens if you don't get it in an hour? Is the product free, like the pizza?
No, it's, I'm sure subject to traffic. But no, it's the next thing. I don't believe it's getting it less than an hour because, 60 minutes, that's about the amount of time that I'd give a pizza before I start calling people and be like, hey, where's my pizza? Mm-hmm. Like, and if I do that with a pair of shoes or something, that's pretty impressive. But I don't think they need to whittle down the time anymore. I think they need to figure out what other markets are going to be receptive to this and start expanding into other cities. Because don't get me wrong, great. Like 7 cities now offer this. And that's probably a couple million people. That's very, very cool. But of course, that's not, widespread by any means.
I think it's going to be there's 2 areas where they can improve. It's going to be, as you say, the number of cities they're going to expand this to, but also I think that the number of products that they offer will expand too.
See, now both of these are interesting because the products, they have to decide what people want fast. What are people going to purchase that they're going to demand delivery within an hour? Because you can order things like, a new pair of headphones, and people may want those within an hour. But then other people might order, a bag of gummy bears. And really, you really don't care if that gets there in 2 hours or 2 days. So, it's what products are going to be available for the $8 fee, because that $8 fee, that pays for the service, and I'm sure gives them a little bit of money. So, what exactly is going to be offered with this? What products?
What are they going to offer? Appliances? I want to buy a dishwasher and I want it within an hour. I mean, is that realistic? Are major appliances going to be into that, or is it going to be more smaller items? Really? Because look at the size.
Well, if you've ever used Amazon Prime with Prime shipping, they'll go next to every product that is available for Amazon Prime shipping. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure if you use the app, or they'll give you a little logo next to all of the different products that are available for this Amazon Now shipping. Again, not on everything, and only in very, very select cities.
Look at the size of the delivery vehicle.
I'm not sure, because I've heard that when this story first came out, we talked about the hiring process, and essentially they're hiring drivers left and right. You sign up for it. You use an app. You're more of a contractor for Amazon, and you sign up for an app, and then you sign up when you want to work and how long you want to work, whenever you want to work. So if you're one of those people that really wants a job and they're paying like $15 an hour, like they're paying their drivers a decent fee, and then you can sign up for 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. You want to be one of those, that's your business. But I think, despite the picture that you're going off there, Craig, people are going to have to supply their own cars, because the amount of people that are going to be driving around, there's no way they're going to be able to afford a fleet of vehicles.
This is a nice looking vehicle. It has Amazon.
Well, yeah, but again, it's not going to be just that one vehicle. People are going to have to provide their own cars.
Okay, so it's not like FedEx, where you see every vehicle for FedEx is a FedEx vehicle. Every vehicle for UPS is a brown UPS vehicle van.
No.
All right, so they'll be using their own car. So like an Uber service, really.
Of sorts.
Yeah, of sorts. Exactly. Okay. Well.
All right. So there's that service. If you live in one of the Sands, or you live in Austin, Dallas, or Houston, hey, check it out. Might be really, really cool. I mean, the $8, that's pretty steep, but to get there within an hour, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Free in under 2 hours, awesome.
Awesome. That is awesome. Okay.
So this next story, we've been talking a lot about services, so let's get into maybe some science or some hard technology. Let's talk about turtles.
Turtles.
Yes, we're going to talk about turtles, or more specifically, tortoises, because tortoises hate. I don't know if you know this, Greg. They hate it when you call them turtles.
Yeah.
So, new Galapagos giant tortoise crawls into the science spotlight. Researchers are surprised to discover a group of giant tortoises on a Galapagos Islands are a completely separate species.
They're not tortoises. Wow.
They are tortoises.
It's a different species.
It's a different species of tortoise. When they say a different species of tortoise, they don't mean, oh yeah, it turns out these things are squirrels. Amazing. They're just shelled squirrels. No, they're still tortoises.
Okay.
They're just a different subspecies. So, the Galapagos Islands takes up over 7. Oh, by the way, CNET and Miss Amanda Kuzer. So about 17,000 square miles of space. So you can see how researchers may have overlooked some genetic details on a few giant tortoises under the underbrush. So the islands are known for being one of the Earth's most unique nature preserves. Of course, Charles Darwin famously studied critters there, which played into his theory of evolution. So one of the more distinctive life forms found on the Galapagos is, of course, the giant tortoise, which can weigh up to 550 pounds. There have been, ones that have been in captivity, live for, like 100 years, and it's, a very, very cool species. So researchers had noticed subtle variations in the shells of the tortoises, but it took a genetic analysis to figure out the species difference. Yale News said that there is in fact a genetically distinct as species living on different islands. So the new discovery branch of the family is now named the Eastern Santa Cruz tortoise.
Wow.
The Latin name is Chelenoidus donfaustoi. I don't know. I don't speak Latin, but named for Fausto Lerna Sanchez. I also don't speak Spanish. A Galapagos National Park ranger known as Don Fausto. Don Fausto spent 43 years working on tortoise conservation efforts, which made him a perfect candidate for the honor. So the Eastern Santa Cruz tortoise population consists of a few hundred animals, which could make them a prime focus for conservation effort. Their kin on the western side of the island numbers around 2,000.
There you go.
Different subspecies of Galapagos tortoise.
Who knew that they were different? Oh well. Okay. So
it's all about where you're, because I guess they live on the eastern side of the island, and then there's another population on the west. Tortoises are not known for their land speed records, so you're not going to go all the way to the other side of the island to
land speed.
Evolve in the same way. So hey, instead of the commute, let's just evolve on our side of the island. They'll evolve on their side of the island, and we'll just make two separate species because it's a long walk.
Yeah. You can put one on the Salt Lake Flats, for that land speed record, put a tortoise. No.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully you found that interesting. I know I did. Now, the next story here is from Engadget. And this is by Daniel Cooper. He says, in-car voice commands. Okay.
I thought you'd like this one.
Can cost you 20 seconds of safety. Think about this. Now, we all know that taking your eyes off the road is a very, very bad idea. But now researchers have added another paper to confirm that using voice commands is just as unwise.
Know it.
Yeah. A team for the University of Utah, in partnership with the AAA, American Automobile Association, believes that the mental effort of driving and talking on your phone is still dangerous. Now, according to the research, it takes a full 20 seconds after completing a distracting task, queuing up a song even with your voice alone before your brain is fully able to concentrate on the art of driving. And again, we don't truly multitask. We basically don't do things in parallel. Our brain is not evolved to do parallel processing. We may do many things simultaneously, but it's still serial. You're doing one thing after another very, very quickly, but it's still serial. You're not doing parallel processing. You really can't parallel process with your brain. And so what they're saying here is that even though you might be looking at the road but you're concentrating on what it is you have to say, a voice command, that's enough to distract you from your driving, and it can be very dangerous.
The worst part is that people who they truly believe in their heart of hearts that I'm a multitasker. I can do a lot of things. I'm very good at that. That's one of my skills. They've tested that before. They have people who submit themselves, to these kinds of tests and be like, they are self-admitted multitaskers.
Yeah.
They score just as poorly as everyone else. They've tricked their brain into thinking that they can do it, but when it comes straight down to it, no one's that good.
You can't do multiple tasks at the same time. The brain has not evolved to work that way. Basically,
well, you could do more than one thing at a time. It's just for the focus needed to be a driver. In all honesty, the amount of focus that you need for that, you can't split that up. If you're sitting there, if you're watching, looking at the internet and watching TV, yeah, you could do that. But for things that require focus, no, one thing at a time.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Look, the team investigated the in-car infotainment systems in 10 cars released this year, as well as the big three smartphone assistants, Siri, Google Now, and Cortana. Now, according to their stats, the Chevy Equinox and Buick LaCrosse had the least distracting systems, while Google Now came out top in the smartphone category. Cortana and the Mazda 6 found themselves stationed at the other end of the table as the most distracting. Now, an assistant professor of psychology at Utah says that the voice command tech is, quote unquote, billed as a safe alternative to manual interactions, unquote. But voice systems simply don't work well enough. That's his finding. The study's conclusions state that people should avoid using tech in the car, and that if they want to remain safe, should do nothing more mentally stressful than listening to the radio or an audiobook. Given that most people can't put their smartphones or Twitter devices down for more than 5 seconds, the self-driving car can't come soon enough. So there it is. Surprise, surprise. Or as Ben said, I told you so. Because, again, we do have a lot of voice commands, things that can do, but according to the study, you're still distracted. You might not realize it, but you're still being distracted from the primary job, which is driving the car.
Right, yeah. Even when people do something as what seems to be something as simple as drive a car and talk on a phone on a hands-free device, like not even giving voice commands, just having a casual conversation with someone not in the car with you, that distracts you just as much. It's not a good thing. So, a lot of these companies, they build themselves as safer and all that kind of stuff. Hey, be at a standstill, be at a red light, be parked before you get the car started, before you get it going.
Yeah.
Do everything you need to do and then start moving. Don't take off and be like, oh, I'll just program the navigator while I'm driving.
No, you don't want to do that. You want
Don't
to
do that.
Yeah, program the navigator. I mean, my navigator, you can speak to it, and you don't have to sit there and tapping things. You can speak to it, but even then, if you do it, make sure you're pulled over or before you begin your trip and do it. That makes the most sense.
Right. So, with that being said, let's move on to this next story, Tech Hive. And by the way, for those who don't know, Tech Hive, PC World, and Mac World joint stories. So, ones that don't fall into either camp get lumped into this nice little website called Tech Hive. And this is from Mr. Jared Newman. So, NBC CISO, SEESO.
One word,
all one,
capital S's, yes.
Yes. And the beginning of the end for traditional TV channels. So at $4 a month with no commercials, NBC's streaming comedy service is a glimpse at the future of TV.
Wow.
So, and again, they even have this little advert here, coming soon or not. We're not allowed to say. CISO, all the comedy you can watch anytime, anywhere, ad-free for only $4 a month, $3.99. So, the cable TV bundle is crumbling when the big networks start swinging the sledgehammers. NBC will soon begin doing its part with CISO, the comedy-focused streaming service it announced last week. When it launches in January, CISO will offer a mix of NBC broadcast shows such as Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock, and more than 20 original series, including Dan Harmon series, for instance, is on board for having an animated adventure, and syndicated programs such as Monty Python's Flying Circus and Kids in the Hall. So NBC plans to charge $4 a month for the service with no commercials. It's going into invite-only beta in December. So that will be our first look at it. This is important.
I was going to say what this next paragraph is very interesting. Go ahead.
Right. So this is uncharted territory, of course, for both NBC and TV networks in general, and it's a sure sign that the TV landscape is changing. It's also proof that unbundling of cable TV is a good thing for consumers, no matter what the cable apologists tell you. And, again, this is where Craig always has to raise his point of, well, if we unbundle everything, then at the end of the day, you're going to be paying more. Again, you're not going to be paying for everything. You're only going to be paying for what you want. So instead of paying for the $60, $70, $80, whatever, you're going to be signing up for 3 to 4 services and getting what you want. Potentially. And this is NBC seeing the writing on the wall finally, and seeing that, hey, streaming television and all these different streaming services, they've caught hold. Like, they're not going away. So better jump on board. And here we have CISO. So they, and the next paragraph is just about that. Defenders of cable TV like to argue that without bloated channel bundles, the cost of each channel will rise, and you won't really end up saving much money. But this line of reasoning only makes sense if you're trying to replace a lot of channels. The new reality is that people are happy with a smaller number of streaming services and are increasingly underserved by a huge package of traditional TV channels. So, with CISO, NBC is acknowledging the reality in a way where we've never seen before with a big network. CISO isn't just a mirror of NBC's existing broadcast channel and programming. It's an entirely new on-demand service aimed at a specific audience. So that's far more compelling than a streaming version of NBC proper, which would appeal to no one in particular. And at $4 a month, the message is that it's just one facet of your overall TV viewing, rather than a centerpiece, which I think they have a point there. At the end of the day, $4 a month, obviously this is not going to be the end-all, say-all of your TV viewing wants or needs.
No, it won't.
This is just going to be one part of it. And I think they're doing a really, really smart thing by not just having, oh, here's all of our traditional programming, up online for streaming, offering, new content, things that you can only get on this service. And Dan Harmon, he's a great writer. Greg, you know him from, Mike and Molly.
Oh, yes.
And The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And a ton of other things. Like he does, Community too. He has a lot of great stuff. So, give him a show. That's great. They're going to offer a lot of different.
I thought those shows were Chuck Lorre.
Oh yeah. You're right. That is Chuck Lorre.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Community, which is definitely Dan Harmon.
Okay.
But anyways, these shows, giving proprietary shows to this thing is going to make people say, oh, hey, look, I can only watch it here. Maybe I should go to that, which I think is what, kind of drove a little bit of growth with Netflix. You could only get certain things on Netflix, so people went to Netflix to see them. So, the author kind of goes on a little bit more about how we are going to start picking apart the cable industry.
Mm-hmm.
But, this is definitely a first step in the right direction in that, hey, maybe in the future, maybe in the near future, these cable packages, as far as streaming and internet goes, for the cable, for the cord cutters out there, you're going to, subscribe to a $3 service here, a $12 service here, a $4 service here. And hopefully at the end of the day, you're getting just the content you want for a much lower price than having to pick, huge cable bundles for content that you're never going to watch.
Yeah. And there's so much of that. I mean, what I pay a month for our satellite service, there's
when you only watch really 7, maybe 8 different channels.
Yeah, you're right. It's it's sort of like when you had your iPod and you said you could put 15,000 songs. And I said, but how many do you really realize? And then the response was, yeah, but I always know that I can have the ability to listen to them. And I think that's what's happening with this. Yeah, I really watch.
That's not.
I like the fact that I can watch the channels if I ever want to watch them.
But I'm not paying extra for putting music onto that iPod. That's just not a one-to-one comparison.
Well, it was 150,000 songs. You had to spend money to get a really large iPod.
But you have those songs anyways. Like that was the whole point of the iPod is that you get to carry your whole library with you instead of just 3 or 4 different songs from your library.
And of course now you can stream them. What? Okay.
It wasn't a straightforward comparison.
Okay.
What you just did.
Fair enough. Okay. All right, but it has some similarities.
Not really.
Okay.
If I had to pay $120 instead of $10 to put all of my songs onto my iPod, then that would make sense. But I already own all that music. Okay. It's just having the ability to take it with me. Yeah. That's not the same as having to pay to listen to all that music.
Fair enough. All right. Although now in today's technology, you don't have to take it all with you because chances are you can stream it if you.
You're right. It was just a bad analogy altogether.
All right. So, but this is encouraging. I mean, that a major network is now testing to see if they're putting their big toe in the water to see if this is going to work, and evidently we'll see. $4 a month, $3.99 coming soon, maybe. Do we have time to do another story?
Not really. Why don't you go over some of the stories that we didn't get a chance to go over in case you want to go look it up yourself?
Yeah, Facebook expands search to all 2 trillion of its posts. They announced this today that they'll expand its search function to include every publicly available post in its archive, not just those of your friends and liked pages. So this is a very interesting story that we didn't get to. Let's see what else. And a couple of other Elon Musk stories. And also, 23andMe gets FDA approval for direct-to-consumer genetic tests. Wow! So you can get yourself tested out directly. So these stories and more. And if we don't have time today, maybe we'll get to them another time. But that about wraps up the show. Again, I want to thank our guest from GoDaddy on the show, Antonio Silveria, who was talking about starting, using a website if you're using a small business, and that GoDaddy offers more than just domain name registration. Now, they actually will take you from start to finish with their services. And again, if you missed any of it, you can go to our archives page at computeramerica.com and listen to it for yourself. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to have two guests. The first one is called CrowdSite, and it's about freelancer marketplaces, and we're going to be talking.
Seconds.
Roll Masselink is going to be joining us in the first hour, and then in the second hour, Passwork, and basically I'll talk a little bit about what Passwork does, and we're going to have the company's founder and CEO and the Passwork team, and basically they're based out of Russia, so it's going to be an interesting show. And if we have time, of course, we'll do more computer and technology news. Brought to you by Slimmer
60
Utilities,
seconds.
the official optimization software of Computer America. Hey, I want to thank all of you for being with us here on today's show on our time slot, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. And again, get your entry in. Because tomorrow we're going to be calling off our social media winner of the week. That's right, and it could be you for that Logitech Anywhere MX2 wireless mouse. About at $80. That's all going tomorrow, and hopefully you'll be registered to get a chance to win. That wraps it up, and thank you again for listening to us. And Ben will see you, and I will see you here same time, same place. So until tomorrow afternoon, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good one, everyone.
10 seconds.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, everybody, thanks for watching our live video. And again, we will see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.